The bright lights of the stage glowed softly as the audience settled into their seats inside the famous theater of America's Got Talent. The judges sat behind their desk, chatting casually, expecting another ordinary audition. Simon Cowell leaned back in his chair with his usual skeptical look, while Heidi Klum smiled warmly at the crowd. Sofia Vergara whispered something to Howie Mandel, making him laugh. None of them expected that the next performer, a shy Filipino boy with humble clothes and nervous eyes, would soon freeze the entire room in stunned silence. When his name was announced, the young boy slowly walked onto the massive stage, looking tiny compared to the enormous set and roaring audience. He held the microphone with both hands, his fingers slightly trembling. His voice was soft when he spoke, explaining that he came from a small town in the Philippines, and that music had always been his escape from hardship. The judges listened politely, but their expressions suggested they were unsure what to expect. Then the boy revealed he would be singing a classic by the legendary king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. The audience murmured with curiosity. Covering Elvis is never easy. Many have tried, but very few capture the magic. Simon slightly raised his eyebrows as if thinking, this better be good. The music began, soft and familiar, and the entire theater held its breath. The first note that came out of the boy's mouth instantly changed the atmosphere in the room. It was deep, soulful, and astonishingly powerful for someone so young. The audience gasped as his voice carried the unmistakable tone and emotion that reminded everyone of Elvis Presley himself. It was as if time had traveled backward, bringing the golden era of rock and roll into the present moment. The boy didn't just sing the song, he felt it. Every word was delivered with passion, every note perfectly controlled, and every pause filled with emotion. His voice echoed through the theater with such clarity that even the judges looked at each other in disbelief. Simon Cowell slowly leaned forward, his usual critical expression fading into genuine surprise. Heidi Klum covered her mouth with her hand, her eyes wide with amazement. Sofia Vergara whispered, "Oh my God," as goosebumps ran down her arms. The audience, who had been casually watching moments earlier, now sat completely frozen, afraid that even breathing too loudly might break the magical moment. Each line of the song seemed to grow stronger than the last, and with every passing second, it became clear that something extraordinary was happening on the stage. As the performance continued, the boy began to move with a confidence that seemed to appear out of nowhere. His earlier nervousness disappeared, replaced by the spirit of a true performer. He gently swayed with the rhythm, channeling the iconic charisma that made Elvis Presley a global legend. The stage lights shimmered around him, creating a cinematic atmosphere, as if the entire world had paused just to watch this one moment. The audience started clapping softly in rhythm, completely drawn into the performance. Some people even wiped tears from their eyes as the emotional weight of the song filled the theater. For many in the crowd, Elvis's music held special memories, moments of youth, love, heartbreak, and nostalgia. And hearing it performed so beautifully by a young boy from the Philippines made it even more powerful. Howie Mandel shook his head slowly, clearly stunned, while Heidi Klum leaned closer to the desk, completely captivated. The judges were no longer evaluating the performance. They were simply experiencing it. The boy's voice rose higher and stronger as he approached the most challenging part of the song, and the tension in the room grew thicker with anticipation. When the chorus arrived, the young singer unleashed a vocal power that no one saw coming. His voice soared through the theater like a wave of pure emotion, sending chills down everyone's spine. The audience erupted into cheers, but quickly quieted again to listen to the rest of the performance. Even Simon Cowell, who rarely shows emotion during auditions, appeared completely frozen, staring at the boy with a mixture of disbelief and admiration. The performance felt larger than the stage itself. It felt like history repeating itself in the most unexpected way. Every note seemed to carry the spirit of Elvis Presley, while still revealing the boy's own unique soul and vulnerability. The camera moved across the audience, capturing emotional reactions everywhere. A woman with tears streaming down her face, a man shaking his head in amazement, and a group of fans holding their hands over their hearts. It was clear that this performance was not just another audition. It was a moment people would remember for years. The young singer closed his eyes as he held a powerful high note, and the entire theater fell silent, hanging on to every second. As the final verse approached, the boy poured every ounce of emotion into his voice. You could hear the story of his life within the notes, the struggles, the dreams, the hope that brought him all the way from the Philippines to the stage of America's Got Talent. His voice trembled slightly with feeling, making the performance even more real and heartfelt. When he reached the last note, he held it beautifully, allowing it to echo through the massive theater before slowly fading into silence. For a brief moment, the entire room was completely still. No one clapped. No one spoke. It was the kind of silence that only happens after something truly extraordinary. Then suddenly, the audience exploded into thunderous applause. People jumped to their feet, cheering, shouting, and whistling. The judges stood up as well, giving the young boy a standing ovation that seemed to last forever. Sofia Vergara wiped tears from her eyes, while Heidi Klum clapped enthusiastically, clearly overwhelmed by what she had just witnessed. When the applause finally settled, the judges struggled to find the right words. Simon Cowell leaned forward, smiling in a way the audience rarely sees. He told the young singer that covering Elvis Presley is one of the hardest challenges any performer can take on, but somehow he managed to honor the legend while also making the song completely his own. Howie Mandel said that moments like this are the reason America's Got Talent exists, to discover incredible talent from anywhere in the world. Heidi Klum called the performance magical, while Sofia Vergara said she felt like she had just witnessed the birth of a star. The young boy stood on the stage, overwhelmed with emotion, tears shining in his eyes as the audience continued cheering. In that unforgettable moment, it was clear that his life had just changed forever. What started as a simple audition had turned into a powerful reminder that talent, passion, and dreams can come from the most unexpected places. And sometimes they can make the entire world stop and listen.